So I started off first with becoming interested in creating my own games because I was playing quite a lot of games at the time as well, mostly Japanese games. And when I began to learn about how to make my own games, I got a chance to go to Japan, which was something that I was planning for very early on, right before I entered college, because I learned about a program, an exchange program, which lets students go to Japan and study there. And then I began to be quite interested in getting into a Japanese studio that makes games. And as I went about doing that, I learned more about how certain studios, for instance, are able to come up with some kind of product, but it seems that the studios would need a way to consistently, regularly generate income. And if you're releasing products, new products, or things that aren't really 100% guaranteed to sell, then you would have to look for ways that would be something that could give you a regular type of income. And that's why if you look at the foreigners who have done it, who have gone to Japan to be developers, designers at video game studios, you find that there are many of them who have shared online via some kind of blog or some kind of video, that even some kind of interview from a news news site, that actually the video game industry in Japan is so much larger than foreigners might initially have thought, because what they see outside Japan are the ones that sell mostly, and the ones that are in Japan are the ones that aren't really sold outside, not only because they probably won't sell, but also because there are rules outside Japan that prohibit the 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 materials, the products that are okay actually in Japan. And that's why, for instance, you get certain products that are blocked in South Korea. There are certain products that have to be censored in certain countries. So things like that. And so once you realize that there's so much more here going on inside Japan, you look into it some more and you find that actually the products that are marketed outside, these are the ones that are, we could say, the ones that we recognize. But actually, um if these are the only ones that are making money, how are the rest of the studios making money and surviving? And then that's why you see that they are doing things that I think we could say not as glamorous, not as fun as we might initially think. And that's why you got people who are doing things related to the adult market, things related to uh, whatever type of product that would let them survive as they build something that they would really want to do. So it might not actually be something that they want to do in the first place, but if you got to survive, you got to do it, right? So that's why the video game industry is very much tied to the anime, to the movie industry, to the manga industry. So they all link together and somehow work together to survive. And the studios that are the big ones usually would have that division, that unit that caters to that segment of the market, so that they would also have a way to generate revenues in case the games that are marketed outside don't sell as much. Although not all studios seem to have that, because Nintendo, for instance, has a brand that we recognize to be for children, for girls, for young people, and not necessarily for adults. So if they begin to have some kind of product division for adult, specifically for the adult market, then it would create an ambiguity in their brand. Nonetheless, it doesn't stop them from working with the other studios like Bandai Namco, Capcom, Square Enix that have slot machines and things like that that they are developing. Nintendo doesn't stop them from working with these other studios as well because they're all in the same industry and somehow they are all trying to survive and of course whichever studio gets to find a cheap resource that they can use to create something and sell for something much higher, then that's how the revenue comes in. Because the idea that you make money out of uh, producing something very cheaply. Because if you can make something very cheaply and you sell it for a much higher price, then that's really how you'd make money. And if the games aren't selling, the pachinko machines aren't selling, what else can they sell? And I was thinking that it could be real estate because the real estate may have been cheap decades ago and then went up decades later. So it could be that, but of course, things do change. It could be many other types of assets as well, but the idea remains that you sell something for a much higher price than what you spent to produce it or what you spent to acquire it. All right, so I think that should be enough. Thanks for joining me. We'll see each other soon.